Hello, dear friends. Today, the synthetic oracle will tell you a disturbing and true story. The fire is still burning. In 1999, a Japanese video game took the world by storm. It was called Silent Hill, a town swallowed by fog and ash, a place where the streets were empty, but you were never alone. Millions of players around the world walked through the fog. It became one of the most terrifying experiences in gaming history. And then in 2006, it became a movie. The film showed audiences something the game had only hinted at. A town built on top of a coal fire, a fire that had been burning underground for decades. And audiences thought, what a brilliant piece of fiction. But here's the thing, it wasn't fiction. The town is real, the fire is real, and it has been burning since 1962. Centralia, Pennsylvania. In the early 1960s, it was a small town like 1,000 others in America. About 1,100 people lived here. They had churches, a post office, small shops along Locust Avenue. Kids played in the streets. Neighbors knew each other by name. But beneath the surface, literally beneath their feet, lay a vast network of abandoned coal mines. Tunnels stretching for miles. Centralia, like much of northeast Pennsylvania, was built on coal. And by the 1960s, most of those mines had been abandoned, empty, dark, waiting. At the edge of town, there was a landfill, an open pit where the townspeople burned their garbage. It was a common practice back in that simple routine. But this particular landfill sat right next to an exposed entrance to the old mine tunnels, and nobody thought much about it. On May 27th, 1962, the Sunday before Memorial Day, the town council ordered the landfill to be cleaned up for the holiday. So they did what they always did. They set the garbage on fire. The fire burned through the trash. The firefighters came later that day, hosed it down. Seemed like it was out. They went home, but the fire wasn't out. It had found a crack in the earth, a passage into the mines below. And down there, in the darkness, it found something it would never stop consuming: coal. Millions of tons of coal, an endless feast. Over the following weeks, months, years, the fire spread silently. Invisibly, it followed the coal seams in every direction, branching out like the roots of some burning tree. And above it all, the people of Centralia had no idea. But eventually, the signs began, thin wisps of steam rising from backyards, a strange warmth in the soil, gardens where the snow never settled in winter. Some residents noticed a faint smell, something sulfuric, like rotten eggs, like something ancient and wrong seeping through the earth. In 1979, the owner of a gas station on Locust Avenue lowered a dipstick into his underground fuel tank to check the level. When he pulled it out, the gasoline on the stick was hot, nearly 180 degrees Fahrenheit. The fuel beneath his station was being heated by the fire below. And then came the moment that changed everything. February 14, 1981, Valentine's Day. A 12-year-old boy named Todd Dombowski was walking through his grandmother's backyard, and the ground simply opened beneath him. Fortunately, he was saved by his cousin Eric, who grabbed him just in time. This time, the world noticed. The story made national news, and for the first time, America asked, how is this possible? How can an entire town be sitting on top of an underground fire? And nobody did anything about it for 20 years. In 1984, Congress allocated $42 million for a voluntary relocation program. The message was clear: leave. This town is over. One by one, families packed up and left. Houses were purchased by the government, then demolished. Streets that once echoed with children's laughter went silent. Porches where neighbors once sat and talked to were torn down and hauled away. By the early 1990s, most of Centralia had been erased. Not by the fire, not by nature, by bulldozers. The government didn't just evacuate the town. They demolished it, house by house, block by block, as if they wanted to make sure there was nothing left to come back to. This is what Centralia looked like before, and this is what it looks like now. The same street, the same coordinates on a map, but everything human about it is gone. In 2002, the U.S. Postal Service revoked Centralia's zip code .179 to 7. Erased, as if the town itself had been unwritten from the map. You can't send a letter to a place that no longer exists. Today, if you drive to Centralia, and you still can, you'll find Route 61. or what's left of it. The old highway has been closed for years, rerouted around the danger zone. But the original road is still there, cracked, buckled, steam rising from splits in the asphalt. A road to nowhere. Over the years, visitors, urban explorers, thrill seekers, the curious have covered the old highway in graffiti, messages, names, drawings, and one recurring phrase, spray painted again and again, welcome to hell. Step off the road and into the woods, and you'll see it. Steam rising from the ground in dozens of places. In winter, when the air is cold, the effect is even more dramatic. The earth itself appears to be breathing, exhaling something hot and toxic from deep below. In some areas, the heat below has killed everything. Dead zones, patches where nothing grows. The trees stand like skeletons. The soil is too hot, too toxic. It's as if the land itself has been poisoned from within. And then there's the church, the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary, a small Ukrainian Catholic church that still stands, alone, surrounded by nothing. Services are still held here. Occasionally, imagine attending mass in a town that no longer exists, praying above a fire that never stops. And the cemetery. The dead of Centralia remain, even though the living have left. Rows of headstones marking the graves of people who built this town. They're surrounded now by absence, by ghosts of streets and houses that used to be. The dead are the last permanent residents of Centralia. As of today, 5 people still live in Centralia. 5. They refuse to leave. They fought the government in court for the right to stay in their homes. They won, but their victory means living alone, on top of a fire that burns at over 800 degrees beneath their feet. Why do they stay? Some say stubbornness, some say principle. They say this is their home, that they were born here and they'll die here. But others wonder, is there something else? Something about this place that holds people? That won't let go. Now, everything I've told you so far is documented fact. What follows is harder to verify. These are the stories that don't make it into the official reports. The things people whisper about when they visit Centralia after dark. Visitors report sounds, not the crackling of fire. You'd expect that. Something else. A low, continuous hum. A vibration that you feel in your chest more than you hear with your ears. Some describe it as a moan, as if the ground itself were in pain. Geologists say it's the sound of rock fracturing from heat expansion. Maybe. But it doesn't sound like rocks. And the smell. Hydrogen sulfide. The smell of sulfur. The smell that every culture, every religion, every mythology on earth has associated with one thing. Hell. In Centralia, the gates of hell don't need to be a metaphor. You can smell them. Urban explorers who visit the old highway at night talk about shapes in the smoke. Figures standing still, just at the edge of visibility. When you walk toward them, they're gone. A trick of the light, of the steam, of the mind. Probably, almost certainly. But every account describes the same thing, a shape. Standing. Watching. Here's what keeps geologists up at night. They've tried to put this fire out multiple times. They tried flooding the mines with water. They tried digging trenches to isolate it. They tried pumping in slurry to cut off its oxygen. Nothing worked. The mine network is too vast, too deep, too interconnected. The fire always finds another way, another tunnel, another seam of coal. Current estimates say the fire could burn for another 250 years. Some scientists say longer. There is enough coal beneath Centralia to fuel this fire until the year 2270. Think about that. This fire was burning before man walked on the moon. It will still be burning when your great-grandchildren are alive. And it's spreading. Burnsville, a neighboring community, has already been evacuated. The fire is moving toward other towns, slowly, inches per day, but relentlessly. It cannot be stopped. It cannot be contained. It can only be watched. Now you understand why the creators of Silent Hill looked at Centralia and saw something they couldn't improve upon. You can't make this scarier than it already is. A town devoured from below, streets that lead to nowhere, a fire that burns forever. The only difference between Centralia and Silent Hill is that in Silent Hill, you can turn off the game. There's one more thing. In 1966, the people of Centralia buried a time capsule. It was supposed to be opened in 2016, 50 years later. But by 2016, there was no one left to open it, and no one knows for sure if the capsule survived. It's down there somewhere, beneath the surface, in the heat, with the fire. A message from a town that believed it had a future sealed in the earth that destroyed it. Centralia is still there. You can visit it. You can walk its empty streets. You can stand where houses used to be and feel the warmth rising through the soles of your shoes. The government says it's dangerous. The signs say keep out. But at night, when the smoke catches the moonlight, when the ground glows in places it shouldn't, you realize something. Centralia isn't dead. It's alive, in the worst possible way. It's been alive for 60 years, and it will be alive long after every one of us is gone. We like to believe we control the world beneath our feet, that the ground is solid, reliable, permanent. Centralia teaches us the opposite. Sometimes the fire finds a way in, and once it's in, it never goes out. If you ever drive through northeastern Pennsylvania, and you see a road that leads into the fog, keep driving. Some places aren't meant to be visited. Some fires aren't meant to be found. The Centralia mine fire has been burning since May 27, 1962. Estimated time until the fire burns out, 250 plus years. 5 people still live there. It's still burning.